Good afternoon everyone, this is Connor from Zenfinex and today I'm going to be providing you with a monthly silver forecast after last week's inflation and retail sales news. As you may know if you watched my previous videos, I was calling for a successful April for silver. We have had that, and for the first half of May we're on the front foot as well. However, there are signs that silver might start to roll over as we're at key resistance levels, but as always I'm going to give my opinion on where we could see this commodity heading with a balanced forecast, tying in both fundamentals and technicals. Now we had some really key inflation data last week in the form of the CPI and the core CPI. The US Consumer Price Index, which it stands for, soared 0.8% to match the biggest monthly increase since 2009, and the rate of inflation over the past year jumped to 4.2% from 2.6% in the prior month. Now this is the highest level since 2008, and this was in comparison to the extremely disappointing retail sales numbers that we saw on Friday. I think it was core retail sales that came in at minus 0.8%. This data last week resulted in really volatile price action, but it's important to understand what this means for the rest of the month. Now this hot CPI number drove long treasury yields higher, and that could put pressure on silver for the rest of the month. The 10-year treasury yield especially, that curve is steepening quite a lot, and we look set to test the highs at 1.75%. And also the reason I've decided not to place too much focus on the retail sales numbers is because the Fed have made it very clear that they're only interested in inflation data, and so we should be as well. And as a result of all of this, just like gold, it could mean a pullback on the chart, but it's really clear at the moment from the price action, which I'm going to show in a minute, that we are looking to break key resistance levels. And add to this that the dollar index initially gained good ground last week, but has since come back and is now testing the very lows. It shows we're at a really critical stage on the chart. Now there are slight concerns that the Federal Reserve may quickly taper asset purchases to stem inflation. So what I will be doing most importantly for the rest of this month and going into June is seeing how the Federal Reserve reacts to these inflation datas. Now, will they keep their stance and say this is transitory and it's expected, or will we hear language around tapering? I think it's way too early to hear language around tapering, but the markets will really react to the comments coming out of the Fed, so make sure you stay alert on that. Okay then, so looking at the chart for silver right now, and as you can see, we are at some really key levels, and I just want to mark them straight away for you. You can see that we're roughly at the resistance levels that we've seen before. 27.5 is at the resistance before. We have more resistance in here, slightly higher up. I mean, you can get the picture now. And as you can see by the price action at the moment, we are looking to come up and test these, and whether we go up and break below or we have a pullback is yet to be seen. So I'm going to try and predict a price movement for you for both sides. So if I move these drawings and have a look at the situation right now, we're trading quite significantly away from the 200-day moving average. We see the 50-day moving average start to tick higher along with the 100-day moving average, and as you can see, we are getting the RSI ticking higher as well. So first of all, we're at a level where I'd mark this as a potential bearish order block. Put that in there, order block. There we are. So as you can see from this level we have at the moment, we did actually run down and we came and broke some key lows. Here was a nice low that we broke. Actually failed to break this low from that initial move, but we did have a second impulse down which came down and broke this low here, as you can see, and since then we've been on the uptrend, and that's since the end of March. I'll get rid of this. So this is the price level we're in at the moment. I would actually be interested in selling the market from here. The only way that I'll be interested in buying right away is if we had a situation where we came and we broke through this order block. We maybe had a slight retest, but then we came up and then we broke, if I can get them, these highs up here, and if we start to reach 30, then I can see the market heading higher as well. But for now, for the price action I'm seeing at the moment, this would be a valid selling point for me. And if I go down onto the 1 hour chart or the 4 hour chart, let's flick through them both to see if we can find a level where we could potentially sell from. Now, straight away we do have potentially this level we're in right now. There was an impulse to the downside and it did create some inefficiency which has been filled. We're going up for the retest, so don't like this sell too much, but for the risk reward ratio, if we're looking to sell from this order block and from when the price is right now, we could aim for the lows and get a quick 5-hour trade, which would be quite nice. But if I look for maybe, see if we can find a better level on the 1 hour chart. And as you can see, we did actually violate all of these levels here, and we are looking roughly at the same level as I highlighted before, where we came down and made this inefficiency, which has then been filled, and then we've come back up for the retest. So for me right now, if I'm looking to sell this market, I would be looking for a clean break of structure, whether that would be maybe on the lower time frames like the 15-minute, and as you can see at the moment we're not really breaking structure to the downside, we are printing high highs, so that's fine. So if I can remove these drawings, and we can see that the price action at the moment is quite bullish, and as I say, unless we can get a reaction from these levels here, these resistance levels, then we could look to buy the market. And the level for me that I'm looking at to buy the market, which would be a real discount level right now, would be this order block here. Let's give it that. Order block entry is our bullish order block. You can see that we did actually come down and try and test this level, and we have bounced off and left us without giving us much of a chance to get into the market, but that's fine. Sometimes you have to be patient, and if I look for a potential path for this chart to go down, we could get this initial reaction I was speaking about from these key resistance levels down into our order block, and then we can start to look to buy. And to be honest with you, my take profit levels would have to be, if I was buying from this level, I'd love to see price first of all test this high here, as you can see, and marked as a take profit, and as a longer term profit level where I can see silver going in the long term, this 30 level, which eluded the price at that time, quite a big drop from the 30 level. So they're my two take profit levels. If we were to get a discounted entry from, where is it? It's around 26.5. And if I draw in a long position, and this is without testing to see if there's a break of structure on the lower time frame, if we aim straight for this high around 28.3, so around a 4-hour trade, and if we held on for the rest, maybe bank some profits here and held on for the rest, we're looking around an 8-hour trade. So risking 1%, you're going to be making 8% on your account if this trade was to play out nicely. And I'll just have a quick look on the 1 hour chart to see if we can get a better entry. Now, I'm actually interested in whether price can come up and break, first of all, this high. Sorry, first of all this high, then second of all that high. And as you can see, we are threatening to break this high already. And the price level that I would be looking for a more of an intraday buy from would be from around here, around 27.5, but I'd still aim for those same profit levels. If we were to get this break of structure, I'd still aim for those profit levels, first of all at 28.2, which is our 5.3-hour trade, and our longer term take profits at 17.6-hour trade. So that's what I'm seeing for silver at the moment. It's at really key levels, as I say, at these high resistance levels that I marked on the daily chart as well. So it's about being patient there, guys. Thank you for listening for today's video. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and drop any comments in the comments section as well. You can also message me on my Instagram, and I'm happy to hear anyone else's opinion on silver today. Thank you very much, guys. Cheers.